maybe before. Wolf attacks, people getting eaten, flea infestations. But in recent years, they've been shunned from decent society and tend to run around the wilderness in motorcycle gangs, living the criminal life. Then there was the worst of all wolves, the infamous big bad wolf. He's the boogeyman parents tell their kids about to get them in bed at night. At the very least, I'm sure you've heard of him. Years ago, he blew down the little pigs' homes until they finally held him off with a house made of brick. Then there was the whole Little Red Ridinghood thing where he dressed in drag as Red's grandma and tried to eat her. Of course, Red turned the tables and pounded on him till he was dead. That made her an instant folk hero around here until she had to flee the kingdom to avoid the vengeance of the other wolves. They even made an awesome horror movie about it that Gramps let me stay up and watch one night. Sorry, I've gone on too long about them. But it's always good on Huff and Puff Day to remember that it's a celebration of a wolf-free life. So, back to today. This was the first year trolls were allowed in the pie-eating contest. The Honorable King Chestnut had found that the reason for us not being allowed, namely that trolls with pie all over their mouths looked kind of gross, was unconstitutional. So my Gramps wasn't going to miss this for the world. We were walking up the enormous driveway to the festival when I heard hooves clopping on the asphalt behind us. I turned and was excited to see it was my friend John, the noble knight, Noble. "Hey, Zarf and family. Great to see you guys." John had been to our home a few times for some of my mom's famous mutton. Since the Snuffweasel thing, he'd become almost like part of the family. A few months before, we had saved the kingdom from a bunch of 7-foot-tall rabid Snuffweasels. No biggie. A woman leaned out from behind him to smile and wave, and it took me a moment to realize that it was no woman. It was my teacher, Miss Flett. "Hi, Zarf." I managed a stunned, "Hi," and a quick wave of my paw. My friend John, and my teacher? What was this? A date? Teachers aren't part of the dating pool. "We'll see you guys in there, and Zarf, I challenge you to at least one game of wolf toss." John gave me a big smile and a wink before urging his horse on up the drive. My mom looked like she could just about pop with happiness. "That's your teacher, Miss Flett, isn't it?" My Gramps chimed in. "Aye, I'll say it is. A foxy lass, too." "Gramps, gross." Miss Flett was my favorite teacher by a mile, but she still had all that teacheriness. As we walked on up the drive, I tried to imagine her as an actual human, without the air of pop quizzes and red Sharpies about her, but I just couldn't quite do it. My family stepped up to the festival entrance, and a big security ogre turned around. I saw that he was armed with a semi-automatic slingshot, probably on the off chance that an actual wolf would show up in town for the first time in a bazillion years. When he saw us, his big grin died on his face. "Oh, great. Trolls." He leaned in and sniffed at Gramps. "Thought I smelled a wolf, but it's just your troll stench. Kinda odd, ain't it? The way wolves and trolls smell exactly the same." I wish I could refute this, but it's true. One of the crueler tricks of nature is that the scent profile of trolls is pretty much identical to that of wolves. The ogre started chuckling. "You ask me, they shouldn't even allow trolls to Huff and Puff Day. Might give the kiddies nightmares." My Gramps chuckled. "Ye won't get my goat today, son. It's a day for celebrating and eating and drinking, so you'll pardon us as we have at it." We threw our shoulders back and walked by, holding our heads as high as we could. My dad and Gramps made a beeline for the nearest concession stand, and my mom caught me by the shoulder. "Remember what you promised me, Zarf. No more getting into